Another video for you with some new stories. Tigray has spoken in response to Ethiopian government's formation of a committee for talks with Tigray. Tigray is rejecting talks in Tanzania, where according to Le Monde, talks are due to be held at the end of this month. Tigray does not want to be part of peace talks in Tanzania. Where does Tigray want to hold peace talks? Just a few minutes ago, Tigray External Affairs Bureau released a detailed statement. Second news story is about Somalia Kenya tensions. The two countries cut off diplomatic ties during the tenure of Abdullahi Farmajo, previous president, ex-president of Somalia. Back then, Somalia leveled serious allegations against Kenya. It was being hoped that after the election of Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, Kenya's Somalia relations will improve. But today, Somalia's ambassador to Kenya walked out of a meeting in Nairobi, Kenya. What happened there? Lastly, we have some updates for you on the joint operation launched by Oromo Liberation Army and Gambella Liberation Front in Gambella, and operation launched by OLA in Western Oromia. Both sides are making conflicting claims about Gambella city, which is the capital of Gambella region. What happened there? Who is in control of Gambella city? A few hours ago, we heard that Gambella Liberation Front, OLA, were in control of key places like some courts, some government buildings in Gambella city. What is the situation there now, and what is on the ground situation in Oromia? Firstly, it was very important news story. PM Abiy a few hours ago, while addressing the parliament, announced that he had formed a committee to work out details about talks with Tigray government. Now Tigray has spoken. Tigray is responding. 3 days ago, French newspaper Le Monde reported that talks are due to be held in Tanzania, Arusha city, under the auspices of Tanzania and African Union, Obasanjo African Union. Now Tigray has written an open letter. The letter is addressed to Macky Sall, African Union president, firstly. Secondly, the letter is addressed to Uhuru Kenyatta, president of Kenya. Thirdly, it is addressed to Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, UAE's ruler. And fourthly, to Samia, who is president of Tanzania. And copies have been sent to EU, US Special Envoy Mike Hammer, Olusegun Obasanjo, and others. What is Tigray saying? Firstly, Tigray says that from day one, it has been ready to be part of any effort to resolve the conflict peacefully. But Tigray is condemning African Union's role in this conflict. Tigray says that African Union remained silent when genocide of Tigrayans was being committed. Despite African Union's silence, Tigray welcomed Olusegun Obasanjo. Why? Because it was against hospitality to rebuff Olusegun Obasanjo. That is why Tigray welcomed Olusegun Obasanjo. It does not mean that Tigray is satisfied with the stance of African Union about this conflict. And Tigray further said that Olusegun Obasanjo is very close to Ethiopian PM Abiy. So Tigray is calling into question the impartiality of African Union and the impartiality of Olusegun Obasanjo. On the other hand, Tigray is commanding Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta. Tigray shows its confidence in Tanzania's president as well. So its main criticism is against Olusegun Obasanjo and African Union. But Tigray is all praise for Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenyan president. Tigray says that Uhuru Kenyatta played a key role, an impartial role in bringing the parties to table. And Tigray is ready to be part of peace talks in Nairobi, Kenya, under the auspices of Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenyan president, with the monitoring, with the support of other players like US, EU, UAE, UN, and African Union as well. So Tigray does not want to be part of peace process in Tanzania, because Tigray believes that that peace process would be controlled by African Union, by Olusegun Obasanjo. Tigray wants to remain part of peace talks if the peace talks are held in Nairobi, Kenya, with participation of all regional and international players. Tigray says in the end that it is ready to send a high-level delegation to Kenya for talks. It does not want to be part of any secret talks. It wants to hold talks in public, but only in Nairobi, Kenya, not in Tanzania. So you see that a new condition, it seems, has been imposed by Tigray government. But Tigray says that it was mutually agreed that talks will be held in Nairobi. Now, the change of venue seems to be violation of some understanding reached among the parties. We are waiting for response from African Union, Ethiopian government. How will they respond to this Tigray's statement? Tigray says it wants talks, but in Nairobi, under the auspices of Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta. No talks in Tanzania, controlled by African Union, Olusegun Obasanjo. A second story is about Somalia, Kenya, new tensions. The two countries, their relations remained very strained, very frosty when Somalia was led by Abdullahi Farmajo, former president. Back then we know that at one time Somalia recalled its ambassador to Kenya. Somalia accused Kenya of backing groups and governments regional governments in Somalia, and Somalia accused Kenya of interfering in internal Somali politics. Then came the decision of International Court of Justice about maritime dispute between Kenya and Somalia, but the decision could not be implemented. So tensions remained in Kenya, Somalia relations when Farmajo was in power. Now we know that Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud is the new president of Somalia, and Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenyan president, participated in the inauguration ceremony of Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. It was being hoped that Hassan Sheikh's election would be a step in the right direction for improvement in Kenya-Somalia relations. But today in Nairobi, Somalia's ambassador walked out of a meeting of a program organized by Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenyan president. What happened there? Mohammed Tarsan is Somalia's ambassador to Kenya. And Muhammad Ahmed is Somaliland's ambassador to Kenya. Somalia's position is very clear that Somaliland is not a country, it's part of Somalia. Today, a program was organized in Nairobi, Kenya, and Uhuru Kenyatta delivered a speech there. Somalia and Somaliland's ambassadors were invited, and both were invited as ambassadors. Their flags were placed as well. When Mohammed Tarsan arrived at the venue of the meeting, he saw Somaliland's flag as well placed there in the meeting room in the venue, and he showed his displeasure that Somaliland is part of Somalia, but here at the venue it is being represented as a country. He protested and he walked out of the meeting. This is the first blow to the hopes that Kenya-Somalia relations will improve. Lastly, we have updates on the joint operation launched by Gambella Liberation Front, Omo Liberation Army in Gambella city of Gambella region, and in Western Oromia by Oromo Liberation Army. What happened there? At one time, Gambella Liberation Front fighters, OLA fighters, they were in control of half of the Gambella city. Government officials had fled and fighting was being reported near a presidential office in Gambella city. What happened there? Who is in control of Gambella city now? Firstly, Oda Turbi, OLA spokesperson, has released a statement. He says that the operation, joint operation in Gambella city by Gambella Liberation Front and OLA has been concluded. The operation has met its objectives, and weapons, military supplies have been captured by GLF and OLA fighters from arms depots in Gambella city, and the forces have withdrawn now. On the other hand, government says, regional government of Gambella led by Umud Jolo, regional government says that invading fighters, rebel fighters they call it, they have suffered heavy losses. Several have been killed, and after suffering losses, attackers have been forced to retreat, and now city is fully in the hands of government forces, and there is relative calm in Gambella city. On the other hand, GLF claims that several GSF Gambella Special Force soldiers have defected and they have joined Gambella Liberation Fighters. So overall, we can say that now government has taken back the control of the city. But that just shows that GLF fighters, OLA fighters, they managed to enter the capital city of Gambella region, and for hours there was exchange of gunfire between these attackers and government forces. Federal police played a key role in pushing OLA and GLF out of Gambella, but OLA and GLF are now out of Gambella city. We have seen some videos as well, graphic, I can't show you, showing several dead bodies of OLA fighters in Gambella city. We don't know about the level of losses suffered by government forces or OLA or GLF, but this attack shows the reach of OLA and GLF. What was the objective of OLA and GLF? If the objective was to capture weapons, they have achieved their objectives. If the objective was to free prisoners, the objective could not be achieved. Reportedly, OLA, GLF could not reach a prison in Gambella city, and they were trying to release prisoners like they did in Dembidolo in Oromia. But in Gambella city, they could not reach a prison where reportedly they wanted to reach. In Western Oromia, operation is ongoing. Oda Turbi, OLA spokesperson, says that in Dembidolo, still operation is ongoing. Inango, Ganji, Mugi, Mandi, Gida, all these places are in Western Oromia, and here operation is still ongoing. And OLA further claims that in Inango, government forces have retreated after suffering losses. Thank you for watching.